Hey, Craig here. So after all the great feedback that I got from all you guys on the last video, I decided to do some more research and what kind of machine or equipment will be best for what I'm going to be doing. So I thought I'd just make a video to go over that. All right? So I basically just made up some cards with all the various options that I've been considering with the suggestions that you guys made and other ideas that I was thinking about. I'm just going to kind of go through these one by one. They're going to be in series and sequence of like the least expensive or the easiest to do, to the most expensive and the hardest to do. Okay, so the first one I'm going to start with is necessarily the cheapest, but in terms of how fast you can get set up and how much it's going to cost, it'd probably be the easiest thing to do. This is a suggestion from John over in the UK. Thanks for the idea, John. This is the 3-in-1 Harbor Freight. It's basically a shear, press brake, and a slip roll all in one. I'll put a picture up on the screen. Pretty cool machine. I went over to Harbor Freight to look at it. They've got it on display there. The only problem that it's 30 inches wide. The problem I have with it is it's 20 gauge steel maximum, and I basically need the option to be able to go up to probably 16 gauge steel. So it's probably not really going to be an option for me, but someone else who's working with thinner gauge metals, it's a pretty good press brake. Can do other things too if you have limited in space and stuff. The other problem that I thought about it was, if I get an order for, or somebody gets an order for, a large run, 200 or 300 products or something like that, and you're having to bend on that all the time, it might be easier to have it on a shop press. That's the other option to look at, but really cool machine. It's kind of based on, what you need it for, Now the other option that I've discussed in the previous video is using the swag off-road type of system, which basically uses a angle in there. The problem with that is I think they're mainly used for like bracket material. Not necessarily the greatest thing if you're trying to make sharp bends in sheet metal. But definitely a decent price. I think they're like $200 for the kit that you have to weld together, and it's like $350 if you have them pre-welded. If you have them weld it for you, which is what I did. So yeah, this was I got this for bending custom brackets. Now, something I had talked about in the previous video was this vice brake, but I think that may end up turning out to be an alignment issue just with the way it's made. I mean, it can be bolted on here, but for the long term, I'm not sure if that's going to be the greatest solution. But in certain circumstances, for low production, that kind of thing, that might be a pretty good idea. Another option would be to custom make a press brake that would fit inside a 20-ton Harbor Freight. That would probably be a pretty inexpensive way to go. But the inside opening of these is only about 22 inches. So, and I'm going to need probably, for what I'm going to be doing, 27 inches of bending space. So I'm probably going to need like close to 32 inches. So that's not going to work out. But a great option if you're trying to make something that will fit within, the space of a press, Alright, well, the next option that I actually considered for a while and was actually serious in getting was was a pan box brake. There's all different widths and different models and stuff. Most of the smaller ones with the smaller fingers don't have the capability of doing boxes like this because the fingers end up hitting. There is a model made by Grizzly. It's a 48-inch. It's $2,000. That allows for up to, I believe it's 6 inches on the box on adjacent bends. I was seriously considering that, but in looking at the size of it, it's actually a massive thing and it's really heavy. So I'm trying to avoid getting anything that's too big that's going to take up too much shop space and it's going to be really heavy. I'm not really sure about the radius of the bends on that either. And also I'm, still having to, lift this thing. I mean, it's counterbalanced, so it's probably not as much work. But anyway, so that was another option. So the next option actually came from a comment on the last video. I'm sorry I didn't get your name, but you had recommended the Bantam Pneumatic press brake. I'll try to put a picture up on here about it. It's actually a pretty cool looking press. It's 12 tons, which would probably be enough for what I'm doing. They have 24-inch models and 48-inch, and I think larger, but the two main ones I saw on eBay were 24 and 48. Can get them relatively inexpensive on eBay. $2,500 for a 24-inch. Of course, 24-inch isn't quite wide enough for what I need to do, so I would have to go up to the 48. The cheapest I found, the 48, was $5,800. It looks like a really cool machine. It actually looks like it operates really fast. I wouldn't actually mind having the 48-inch, but it's $5,800 and it's a pretty large looking machine. So, and I'm trying to, in the future when I actually get a real shop, that may be something to consider. The next option came from Stefan about the magnet bend. Thanks for the idea about this. Pretty cool machine. It actually holds the metal down with a really powerful magnet, and it's got like a piece of metal on the top, and it kind of sandwiches it down. I'll put a picture of it up on the screen, but really cool looking machine. You can do a lot of different things with that. I'm not sure if you're doing boxes, because you can actually put different plates. If you say, for example, this is the edge of the magna bend, and it comes with different, you can get one great big long plate that holds the workpiece down, or you can get different pieces, and then you can actually put, for example, the box on the edge here and the piece here, and then you can bend it up. It's kind of like the box pan brake that I talked about from Grizzly or other makers. I'm not really sure if it would be the ideal thing for large production if you're having to take a piece in and out like that. But really good for like low volume and that kind of thing. Unless there's something that I don't know about it. Maybe there's some way of setting it up to make it more of a volume type of thing. But anyway, so yeah, that's a pretty cool machine right there. Okay, so the next option would be to get an actual press brake. The problem with an actual press brake is they're really big, really heavy. Most of them seem to be three-phase. There's some air. Well, the Bantams are the ones that are the air, but a lot of these they're three-phase. And if you're trying to get them used, most of them are they're not in Arizona. Arizona is not really known for manufacturing. We have manufacturing here, but I've never really seen a lot of older, used equipment here in Arizona. So it would have to come from another state, which would include, all the rigging and shipping costs and all that kind of stuff. But so yeah, I've kind of decided against an actual press brake. Maybe in the future, if I get a real shop, maybe you can invest in something like that. As far as getting something new, you're still looking at it being large and heavy and three-phase typically, but they're, like I said in the other video, they're usually like $12,000, $20,000. But I mean, I'm sure they're probably really good for production and stuff like that. So after going through all of that research, with all the different options and the kind of products, that I'm trying to make, and I think the best thing for my circumstances in terms of, like having a really small shop, not really wanting to have to deal with a lot of, heavy equipment and moving. I just have this in the back. I don't even have a garage. If I had a garage, that would be nice. You can just back up a truck in and just drop the equipment in. But, I have these like sheds basically, or carports in the backyard, which makes it even harder trying to get equipment and stuff in. So what I've decided to do, this may change, but I'm still kind of drawing this up, is basically to go with a full custom press from scratch. Obviously, I'm not gonna try and make cylinders and that kind of stuff, but so I'll end up buying probably a 20-ton hydraulic cylinder. I've been looking around. It's kind of hard to find, a shop press cylinders. You can buy the bottle jacks like they have in the Home Depot models. But I don't really want a bottle jack. I want an actual cylinder. The cheapest I've been able to find one for a 20-ton is about $250 just for the cylinder, from Redline. Not really sure why there aren't more suppliers on eBay or something for it, but so basically I'm looking at getting the 20-ton cylinder. I'm going to looking at making an H-frame press, either bolted together or welded, depending upon how much the welding costs. But it's probably going to be made out of C-channel, probably 6-inch by 4-inch by 3/16 web. Either bolted together or welded. I may end up going bolting because the welding will probably end up being $200 or $300 for the welding. It'll probably be 36 inches wide by 36 inches tall, something that I can just bolt down to a sturdy workbench. Then I'll basically bolt on a steel plate on the bottom for the hydraulic cylinder to go into. I'll probably end up getting an air of a hydraulic pump for it. I think that's like $200 for the pump from Redline. They sell replacement equipment for all of their stuff. I mean, if I can find it someplace else less expensive, I will. But and then basically I'm just going to end up building, basically something similar to this, the Swag Off-Road, the same style, but it's basically going to have, there's going to be a substantial base plate to it, maybe 6 inches by 32 inches, I think. And the instead of having this, I'm going to end up having an American die, the standard American die holders. So it'll basically have a series of screws on here to hold standard American dies. Same thing on the bottom. I'm not really sure of the price of all this yet, but I'm not sure if I'm actually going to use off-the-shelf dies or punches to go in that. I may end up making those myself too, depending upon the price. Alright, well, if anybody has any ideas about bending or options that I haven't thought about or hasn't been mentioned before, feel free to leave it down below. In the next video, I'm going to be going over the details of this press brake, the design and everything. Alright, well, if you like this video, I'd appreciate the thumbs up. Feel free, as usual, to leave any comments down below. If you'd like to subscribe to the channel, there should be a button over here. If you'd like to support us on Patreon, a link up there. And some other videos you might like to watch over here. Alright, as always, thanks for watching.